How was it?
How was it? It was lots of things. It felt like a very safe space.
Mm-hmm.
A space in which I would feel comfortable to bring things up and to think about them, although I didn't particularly.
Right.
But I don't know if that's just because it was a first session and there was lots of stuff in
Yeah.
the head.
Yeah.
Physical stuff about kind of what's going on now and, experiencing it.
Yeah. And did you experience it physically at all?
Very.
Okay.
Yeah. Proprioceptively, almost,
Mm-hmm.
in that you mentioned muscles, and that I felt it in my muscles.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't quite sure where I was in space. It felt good. It felt fine, but it felt slightly odd.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't. I guess it's like I was. Like the sensations in my body were more profound. I was experiencing them more fully.
And whereabouts in your body did you experience?
All over, but at different times. A lot in my hands and my forearms.
Right.
Felt like I was holding something massive.
Mm-hmm.
But not uncomfortably. Just kind of a real awareness of my hands and the position that they were in, although I couldn't have told you what position they were in.
Right.
Same in my lower legs to some extent. And at different times in my sort of head and face and neck. There was one of the bowls that I think you were using, the first bowl that you used after you finished with the voice.
Yeah.
And I felt it in my throat,
Right.
which was quite bizarre.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, all of it was very physical, felt very physical.
Good. And so you didn't necessarily find any stories or narrative that was going on for you during that?
Not hugely. I mean, there was a couple of brief periods where I found myself thinking about the things that we talked about before.
Mm.
But it felt quite forced. It felt like I was
Right.
trying to think about those things to an extent.
Yeah.
But although I didn't really think about those things, I did feel quite positive. It felt like it's really hard to describe. It felt like a very positive space, a very safe space.
Mm.
And it felt like I'm not sure this is going to make any sense. It felt like a space of the future, of my future.
Right.
So whilst I wasn't actually thinking specifically about any particular issues or trains of thought, I wasn't concentrating on anything.
Mm.
It felt like there was stuff going on, but unconsciously.
Right.
Does that make any sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a very kind of tentative thoughts. I'm not fully aware of them.
Yeah. No, that's
It's interesting.
good. Thank you very much.